Hi, and welcome to my channel. This is going to be the first of many vlogs I'm going to do on autism. I have a 4-year-old son. He was diagnosed with autism when he was about 20 months, but I actually recognized the signs before then. It was actually about, I want to say about 16 months or so. It was just after he had shots, and that's a whole nother series about vaccines, so we'll get into that later. But right after that, he started having seizures. He had about 3 seizures right after that. Before then, he was just beginning to say "mama." He was babbling, so, saying words. And right after the seizures, he stopped talking. And I knew there was a problem. So I did my own little research, and autism is what I came up with. I did tell my pediatrician, and he pretty much told me the seizures weren't really seizures. They were just probably night terrors. I'm thinking, what 16-month-old has night terrors? I mean, he just pretty much blew me off. So every visit that I took him to the pediatrician, I kept saying, "Well, can we test for autism? Can we test for this? He should be talking. He's not talking at all. There's something wrong." And the same response I got every single time. "Well, we'll just wait and see. We'll wait till he's about 2 years old, then we'll see what happens then." And I'm thinking, why are we waiting until he's 2 years old to see what's going to happen? So what I did, I contacted this program is called the Early Childhood Intervention, and that got the ball rolling. They did their own little test, which came up with autism. Then I was able. They actually helped me with the paperwork and got me referred to Social Security, who also did their own little test, plus another agency. I'll have to get all of that later for you. But they all did a test on Nicholas. They also came in and did in-home test. They wanted to see how he reacted to other people to really get that diagnosis. And I mean, at first they said he had echolalia. I can never pronounce it right, but most of you know what that is. And that's basically when he repeats or echoes what he hears. Not his own words, but what he hears. He did a lot of that in the beginning. He did have some minimal eye contact, but not very long. He played. He had meltdowns. I mean, he played with toys, and he would get upset and have meltdowns. And um, things that I noticed, he walked on his tiptoes constantly, constantly. Um, it's just a list of things. I mean, it's so many things. But it was noticeable things that made me know there was something wrong. So after I got that diagnosis, on one hand, I was relieved. On the other hand, I was devastated. I mean, it was just like somebody stabbed me in the heart. I just felt like, how could this be? How could this happen? What did I do wrong? Why is my child suffering from this? I mean, I cried and I cried. I mean, when I went to work, I couldn't even work. I was so upset. I was depressed. I stayed depressed for about 3, 4 months. I mean, I couldn't even say the word autism. It hurt me. I mean, if I saw something on TV about autism, even when I tried to do more research on it, I would just cry and cry and cry. And I mean, it was just like you kind of go through those stages of grief. I was going, I was grieving. I was just grieving for my son. I just thought, oh my gosh, this can't be happening. I mean, what's going to happen to him? It just, even now, I still feel that pain. But skipping over a lot of the traumatic times we went through, where we are right now at 4 years old, I cannot believe the progress Nicholas has made. I mean, when I finally got him I found a pre-K that accepted children like Nicholas, and they also integrated them into a regular school with other students. That's what I was looking for. I didn't want him in an institution. I didn't want him shut away just from everybody else. I wanted him to be with everybody else, to live like everybody else. I wanted his life to be as normal as possible. So this pre-K was wonderful. I just love that pre-K. He's still in that pre-K now. Next year he'll be going to kindergarten. He'll be 5. But the school was so wonderful. Now daycares were a whole other story. The first daycare I put him in when he initially got the diagnosis, they were all wonderful. Yes, we can handle him. No problem. Just bring him on in. But the first time he had a meltdown. That's when things started going downhill. Because they did not know how to cope with Nicholas and his meltdown. They did not know how to deal with Nicholas when he was screaming and he couldn't talk and he couldn't tell you, he wanted to go to the potty. He couldn't tell you he wanted something to eat. He wanted something to drink. He couldn't communicate at that time when he first went to daycare. So his only way to communicate was to scream or to fall out, to throw things, to hit people. And I would always come pick him up. And the daycare was, at that time, my daughter was going to, my baby girl. She's 18 months younger than, oh, sorry, 16 months younger than him. she's um she's fine, but when they liked her better than they liked Nicholas, which killed me. They didn't say it in those words, but they were always saying, well, we feel like Nicholas is a danger to the other students because he hits and he throws things and the children are scared of him and we just feel like it's a danger. His teacher almost had a heart attack because she can't deal with the stress of dealing with him. I mean, I got so mad. They was like, well, can you take him somewhere else and we'll keep Allie, that's his sister. We'll just keep her. And I'm thinking, no, you cannot. So I took him out of their school. Because one of the last straws with that school was when I come to pick him up, he's in a little bitty baby chair. I'm coming literally a little bitty baby chair that they had. His feet were on the floor. You know how babies, their feet dangling in a high chair. His feet were touching the floor. They strapped him into a chair to keep him from doing anything or moving around. And when I would come to pick him up, he would jump up to come to me, and the chair would be strapped around him. He's carrying the chair with him, strapped to him. I just feel like that was abuse. So that was it. So I took him straight out of there. I didn't care. I didn't say give a notice, nothing. I was out. So I was still working with someone through the ECI program. She recommended another daycare that had two other students that had autism. She would refer them over there. He's been over there since, and I still have my trials there. I mean, they have been accepting. They've been taking extra training to learn how to deal with children with autism. They actually have gotten more kids in there with disabilities. I mean, because when Nicholas first started there, I think he was only one of two other kids, and now they have about five or six with different disabilities. But I had to say they're actually trying to learn how to deal with that. They're teaching the teachers. They listen to most of the things I say. Now, that's not to say there haven't been a few teachers that did not want to do it, or they just didn't have the patience. They just did not know how to cope with Nicholas and his meltdown. What they chose to do, which I didn't agree with, was to let Nicholas do whatever he wants. Nicholas, um, Nicholas does better in a structured environment. You can't just let him go around and do whatever he wants. You have to give him a structure. That's the way he functions. He functions so much better that way. And I've told him that time and time again. But one particular teacher, because she was somewhat scared of Nicholas, she would just give him a toy or give him this and give him that, let him go in the corner and play while she's with the other kids, teaching them this and teaching them that, but not doing this with Nicholas, which was a problem. And I had to speak up several times on that. Eventually, they moved Nicholas to a different teacher. So Nicholas is receiving therapy. He in the beginning he was getting speech therapy twice a week and OT twice a week. He graduated out of the OT program and he's still receiving speech. And since the initial diagnosis, when Nicholas couldn't talk, Nicholas, by the age of 2.5, could read. He could count to 10. He knew his alphabet. And now at the age of 4, Nicholas can still read. He can count to 100. He can still say his alphabet. He can sing just about any songs he sees. And one thing I've noticed about Nicholas, I believe he has a photographic memory because we've tested him. We've had these little flashcards that we made up ourselves, and we would show it to him, say the word, and then mix up the deck. We pull the card back out. He repeats the word. He would see the word and recognize what the word was. We did that on so many occasions just to test to see what he could do. So I'm more hopeful now than I've ever been. I just feel like Nicholas is going to be one of those that's going to overcome this. I just, now, I can just see the difference in Nicholas now from in the past. Nicholas, I love you, mommy. Mama, can I have a drink? Mommy, I need to go to the potty. Um, Things that we take for granted mean so much to me right now. He gives me kisses. I love you, mom. Even when I take him to school, he's like, I'm ready to go to daycare. Gives me a kiss, runs to his teacher. I mean, his his when he talks, you notice a little something. It's almost like mm, if you've ever heard a deaf child speak, it almost sounds like that, but you can understand everything Nicholas says. But he does says sorry, he says complete sentences. He understands so much. Nicholas is so smart. His only problem to me is communicating what he's thinking. He does have outbursts. He still has meltdowns. When he's frustrated, he reacts. He doesn't have any control over what he does. It's impulsive. If he's mad and he has a shoe nearby, he's gonna throw that shoe at you. If there's something laying anywhere around and he's mad, he's gonna throw it. He's gonna fall out. Um, there's been several times I've had to just walk away because I've been so upset because it can be frustrating, it can be overwhelming. There's been times like we've been in the van and Nicholas wanted something and I told him no. I think he had a slushie in his hand that time. He threw it and hit me in the back of the head, which it went everywhere. There's another time I told him he couldn't do something and he threw a book and hit me. So he's done that on the school van also. He's unbuckled himself and went up there to where the teacher was driving. I mean, it's a hard hard and long road, but I I treasure every moment with him. I mean, there are so many things. It's just you see I'm rambling, but it's just so much I can't get it all in one video. But this is just a start to let you know kind of a little bit what my life is about. And as I go along, I'll give you more vlogs on this. So I'll see you for the next vlog. Bye.